Is Lewis Hamilton finished?
Hamilton's had some manners put on him by Kubica, but he comes round the outside. He's also gone round Alonso. Stunning start by Lewis Hamilton.
That question would have sounded absurd 5 years ago, almost disrespectful. Lewis Hamilton was untouchable. 7 world championships, more race wins than anyone in the history of the sport. More pole positions than most drivers could dream of, even in simulations. A driver so dominant that winning became routine, and routine slowly turned into boredom for people watching. He didn't just win races, he normalized excellence to the point where fans stopped appreciating it while it was happening. When dominance lasts too long, it stops looking extraordinary. It starts looking inevitable.
Great job, guys! Great job! That was amazing!
And when inevitability disappears, people don't ask what changed, they ask who fell. Today, fans are asking questions that once felt impossible to even consider. Did Mercedes quietly end Lewis Hamilton's reign without meaning to? Did Formula One, consciously or subconsciously, decide that Max Verstappen was the future and adjust the sport around him? Has Lewis Hamilton already driven his last truly great season without realizing it? And the hardest question of all, the one no Hamilton fan wants to face honestly, should we accept that this era is over? Because here is the brutal, uncomfortable truth. Lewis Hamilton has not won a Formula One race since December 2021. In any other sport, that might sound like a rough patch. In Formula One, it is an eternity. Careers rise and end in less time than that. Dynasties are born and buried in shorter windows. So this is not a nostalgia piece. This is not blind fan defense. This is not a highlight reel of past glory meant to distract from present reality. This is something harder and more uncomfortable. This is about confronting a question that the sport itself is quietly circling. Is Lewis Hamilton's career actually over, or are we standing at the edge of the most dangerous comeback Formula One has ever seen? To answer that, we need to establish reality before emotion. Lewis Hamilton is a 7-time world champion. He won his first title in 2008 with McLaren, becoming the youngest world champion at the time. Then he rewrote the record books with Mercedes, winning in 2014, 2015, 2017, 2018, 2019, and 2020. That alone places him in the highest tier the sport has ever known, alongside Schumacher, Senna, and Fangio. No debate, no asterisks, that is legacy. But something changed, and it's important to be precise about this. The turning point was not gradual. It wasn't age catching up. It wasn't hunger fading. It wasn't motivation disappearing. It was a single season, 1 year, 2021. A season that ended in Abu Dhabi, a safety car, 1 lap, and a championship that Lewis Hamilton, by almost every statistical, sporting, and competitive metric, should have won. A season where he drove one of the greatest second halves in Formula One history, clawing back a massive points deficit, winning race after race under unbearable pressure, only for the title to be decided in a moment that is still debated, dissected, and defended to this day. After that night, 2 things happened at the same time. Max Verstappen entered an era of dominance that shows no sign of slowing down, and Lewis Hamilton entered an era of uncertainty that he had never experienced before. Since then, the sport itself changed. New regulations arrived. Ground effect returned. Aerodynamics were reset. Mercedes, the team that had defined the previous era, lost its identity. And Lewis Hamilton, for the first time in his career, found himself driving machinery that did not allow him to impose his will on races. Meanwhile, Max Verstappen adapted instantly. Red Bull built a car perfectly aligned with his driving style. He became the unquestioned center of their universe. The team, the strategy, the development direction, everything revolved around maximizing one driver. And the results were ruthless. Records fell. Seasons were crushed before summer break. Dominance returned, just with a different face. So, the question becomes unavoidable. Did Lewis Hamilton decline, or did Formula One simply move on without him? To understand why that question is even being asked, you have to understand where Lewis Hamilton came from. He didn't arrive in Formula One by chance, hype, or politics. He started racing at 6 years old, in go-karts, while other kids were still figuring out weekends and hobbies. While other children had comfort, Lewis had circuits. While others had financial security, Lewis had sacrifice. His father, Anthony Hamilton, worked multiple jobs, sometimes 3 at once, just to keep Lewis racing. Not because it was fun, because it was necessary. Because talent without opportunity dies quietly in motorsport. By the age of 13, Lewis was already signed to McLaren's Young Driver program, something almost unheard of at the time. That wasn't belief. That was recognition. From there, the climb was relentless. Formula Renault, Formula 3, where he won 15 of 20 races in a season that bordered on unfair. GP2, which he won as a rookie. By the time he entered Formula 1 in 2007, Lewis Hamilton wasn't a prospect. He wasn't a project. He was a weapon. His rookie season remains one of the greatest debuts the sport has ever seen. Podiums in his first 9 races. A title fight against Fernando Alonso, the reigning double world champion. He missed the championship by a single point, 1 point, in his first year. In 2008, he corrected history in the most dramatic way possible. Last corner, last lap, Brazil. A moment that still defines modern Formula 1 storytelling. Then came the decision that changed everything, the move to Mercedes. At the time, it was ridiculed. McLaren was proven. Mercedes was potential. People called it career suicide. What it became instead was the most important driver transfer in Formula 1 history. From 2014 to 2020, Lewis Hamilton didn't just win championships, he controlled the sport. 6 titles in 7 years, technical mastery, psychological dominance. Teammates reduced to benchmarks rather than threats. Valtteri Bottas, a fast and capable driver, became the clearest evidence of Lewis's greatness because the comparison was so brutally consistent. This wasn't just winning, this was command. Lewis Hamilton wasn't simply faster than the grid, he was calmer, smarter, more adaptable, more precise under pressure. He understood tire behavior better, he managed races better, he thrived when conditions were unpredictable. That is not something you forget how to do. So when the wind stopped, the question wasn't whether Lewis could still drive. The question was what changed around him. Formula 1 does not like long dynasties. It never has. Every era eventually faces a reset. In 2022, that reset arrived in the form of new regulations. Ground effect aerodynamics returned. Floor designs were radically altered. Ride height sensitivity became critical. Mercedes got it wrong. Not slightly wrong, painfully wrong. The car porpoised violently. It was unpredictable. It punished aggressive driving. It neutralized the very strengths that made Lewis Hamilton exceptional. Late braking became risky. Corner entry confidence disappeared. Tire management advantages were reduced. Meanwhile, Red Bull produced a car that was stable, predictable, and perfectly suited to Max Verstappen's style. But technical failure alone does not explain everything. Abu Dhabi 2021 wasn't just controversial, it fundamentally altered how Lewis Hamilton viewed the sport. For the first time, rules felt flexible. Outcomes felt negotiable. Trust was damaged. And Lewis did something uncharacteristic. He didn't explode publicly. He didn't attack the system endlessly. He went quiet. That silence wasn't weakness. It was disillusionment. At the same time, Mercedes didn't just lose speed, they lost certainty. Red Bull outdeveloped them. Ferrari occasionally outqualified them. And Lewis, for the first time in his career, had no technical safety net, no dominant package to fall back on. Even greatness needs a platform. Which brings us to Ferrari, the most emotional team in Formula 1 history, the most inconsistent, the most political, and the most dangerous gamble Lewis Hamilton has ever taken. Ferrari is a team of extremes, incredible straight-line speed, brilliant engineers, questionable strategy, operational mistakes under pressure, a long history of breaking champions rather than crowning them. Alonso came close, Vettel came close, both left without titles. So can Ferrari win Lewis Hamilton his 8th world championship? The honest answer is yes, but only under very specific conditions. Ferrari must prioritize stability over raw speed. They must eliminate self-sabotage on race weekends. They must fully center the project around Lewis. Not legacy, not ego, not internal politics. One clear direction, one clear leader. If Ferrari fails, then yes, this chapter ends without a fairy tale. But if Ferrari gets it right, Lewis Hamilton doesn't need dominance anymore. He doesn't need to crush seasons. He needs one perfect year, one aligned car, one moment where preparation, experience, and opportunity intersect. And if there is one driver in Formula 1 history who knows how to deliver when the entire world doubts him, when the pressure is absolute and the margin for error is zero, it is Lewis Hamilton. His career isn't over. But the margin is razor-thin, time is unforgiving, and this may be the last window greatness ever gets. History isn't asking whether Lewis Hamilton can still drive. History is asking whether Formula One will allow him to win again.